IVM.
Hello one, hello all. Welcome to the Diary of the Traveling Professor. And I'm Siddharth Deshmukh, your friendly neighborhood traveling professor himself. So here's a question for you. Question is, who would be your ideal customer? A lot of people just say, hey, an ideal customer is somebody who just loves my product, buys it at an extra price, makes sure that, she enjoys it a lot and comes back to buy it again. And that's all fine, but I actually think that you might get the wrong kind of customer who will buy your product for all the wrong reasons and then end up actually not liking it at all and kind of bad-mouthing you. And I've seen a lot of businesses actually fail because they've got the wrong kind of customers at the launch of their product or service or platform or whatever you may have, right? So who is the right kind of customer? How can we get to the right kind of customer? This diary entry explores that. So first of all, let's try to understand who are the first people who actually end up buying your product, right? So the first people who end up buying your product are the enthu cutlets of the world, right? So if you have a new technology, there'll be some early adopter or there'll be some innovator who will just go for it. If you have a new Star Wars movie, there'll be some enthu cutlet who will go for it. If you have a new iPhone, there'll be some enthu cutlet who will go for it. What separates these enthusiastic cutlets, as I call them, from the rest of the janta is that they go with the heart. They go with their gut, they go with their intuition, and they are either drawn to it because of the technology or because of the functionality of the product or the service, or they see the business or the emotional value behind it. Now, if you're kind of understanding where I'm going with it, the people who look at the functionality or if they look at, the sort of logical reason why you should buy a product are very different from the people who buy it for emotional reasons. But whatever the case may be, they're the ones who should, examine the reasons why they're buying it. Or at least you should as a marketer. So the moment you start getting people who are buying the product for the right reason, you know what will happen? They will experience it in the way in which you have imagined them to experience it. I mean, just think about it. Imagine YouTube as a product that you're experiencing, but you want it to be like Netflix. Of course, you're going to be disappointed, isn't it? As a first-time customer. Now, the example itself just seems ridiculous, but there's a lot of merit to the fact that a Netflix customer is a very different customer than a YouTube customer. So Netflix's first customers would have been extremely different people, right? Although they might be consumers of YouTube, the expectation that you have of YouTube is very different from the expectation that you have of a premium, non-advertising driven service like Netflix. So right reason, right? That is the first and important criteria for picking the right consumer. What's the second reason? The second reason would be, or the second kind of attribute for the customer would be that if they like your product or service or platform, they're willing to actually share their opinion. They talk about it on Quora, they, kind of talk about it on Facebook, they talk about it offline, they kind of recommend it to friends and so on and so forth. They become your brand ambassadors, they become influencers, whatever else lovely fancy name you want to give them. They're the ones who are doing free advertising for you. And passionate free advertising, which is going to be more believed than any of your regular paid stuff. So the right kind of customer is the guy or the gal who's buying your product for the right reason, not the wrong reason, understands your product and is able to talk about your product or service to the rest of the target audience that you have in mind. A lot of times when a business ignores this and tries to push for any kind of customer just because they're trying to meet a target for their launch, they are going to end up screwing their business in the medium term, forget the long term even. Because what's going to happen is that these customers are going to buy it, not use the product, use it, be unhappy about it, talk rubbish about it, and then it's a negative spiral of sorts. On the other hand, if you look at the right kind of customer, the guy who buys it for the right reason, or the gal who knows how to talk about why she's bought what she's bought, is going to, over time, go into two camps. Okay, nobody keeps talking about, your brand. People have got a life. So there are going to be two camps. One is he or she is going to develop an inertia about your product and is going to continue purchasing your product if it is a repeat purchase sort of situation without thinking too much about it. Just inertia. Yeah, that's good. I know, I'll buy it. No thinking. And this is a great situation to be in unless and until some new smart competitor comes and attracts her away with a new shiny version of whatever you're doing. So that's one camp. The second camp is one wherein the guy or gal has developed a really deep emotional connect, okay, that is going beyond the functionality of the product. So you feel something about a particular piece of furniture, or you feel something about a particular piece of coffee, or so on and so forth. And the moment you start moving from functionality to emotions, that's the other camp for you. So the right kind of customer for any marketer is a no-brainer. He or she has picked it for the right reason. He or she is going to talk about it to other customers, potential customers, I mean. And three, is going to be emotionally loyal to you as much as he or she can. So the right kind of customer is not the first customer who bites the bullet and pays the price and comes over to you. No, sir, no. The right kind of customer is a different breed. I think every marketer should be looking at the right kind of customer for setting up a very strong, stable business. Well, I hope you like this diary entry of mine. Many more to come from where this came from. The funny side of me, check out Instagram. If I'm talking with industry experts, check out Tell Me About It. That's my YouTube channel. If you want the serious side of me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm easy, but I'm also the traveling professor, so I'll give you some insights. Like podcasts like these? Go to ivmpodcast.com or just download the app. Like podcasts which are not like these? Again, go to ivmpodcast.com or download the app. We need all kinds of podcasts to rock our world. Until next time then, from still sunny London.
I hope you enjoyed that show. It's been a really fun week this week, as it is almost every week, but this week was particularly fun. Parmesh Shahani was on Cyrus Says, great conversation over there. We had a crossover event. Vineet Kanabar, host of the Storytellers and Storytellers podcast, came on Uncle Please Sit. Really interesting conversation about the future of digital content. Besides that, it was the 50th episode this week of Agla Station Adulthood. Congratulations to Ritasha and Ayushi. But yeah, they're 50 episodes down. They had Rekha Jha as the guest on that show. On Advertising is Dead, Varun had the founders of Foxy Moron, Suvir Bajaj and Pratik Gupta on. Another really, really interesting conversation. So full of interesting conversations this week, and I hope to see you again next week.
Do you have a night routine? Well, everyone has one. And the to-do list usually looks like this. Brush your teeth, set that alarm, get into your pajamas, and switch off those screens. But here's one more to add to that list. Tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast for a dose of positive action and tips on how to build powerful mindsets. Episodes out every Monday on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or wherever you tune into podcasts.